The work is work, right, right. And being able to separate that, your personal life, and what you bring into your professional life is like basic 101 skill that has helped me since day one. Something my mom taught me. And like I said, like leave it back, they'll say like in theater, leave it backstage, or like whatever you're going through, once you're crossing your work, whether it's modeling, whether it's photography or whatever, being able to translate that and be a fresh new slate and refreshing, it's like that takes you so far.
One of the things I like about working with you is you have this source of talent inside you, but it's the speed at which you can access that talent. Does that come from your experience with acting, and how does acting and modeling go together? How they're similar and how they're different?
Yeah, I definitely would say that a lot of that comes from my acting side and like having to be, like having to be on and having to be in character. Yeah. And being and knowing when, okay, I'm in work mode. This is professional Maya. This is model Maya, and this is ordinary behind the scenes. I'm just myself. Acting attributes a lot to that. Taught as soon as you cross that curtain, it's go time. And it translated a lot because, and the more and more I get into modeling, the more and more photographers are aiming for emotion, aiming for, they say, if they don't know how to say it, this is the vibe I'm going for, or that kind of thing. But really it's like, they want that feeling in the photo. And I'll find myself thinking about acting tactics that I learned way back in school to help me kind of like get into those characters, or getting my mind somewhere else if they want something sadder or something like that.
When you're collaborating with a photographer, it seems like you have a lot of trust in the process. Mm-hmm. Where does that trust come from, and how does a photographer encourage that trust when they're working with you or any other model?
Right. Definitely communication is like 95% of it. If you're not communicating with your model, like the basis, whether it's just like the outcomes, purely just the outcome of the photos, or your contact afterwards or something like that, it's just not going to be what it could, like the potential of what it could be. But staying in constant communication, not only about we're meeting here, here's the time, like that stuff, but in communication about your vision, like that's so important. Because like if we didn't accomplish the vision that you wanted, but you didn't communicate your vision to me, like there's nothing I can do about it. Or if I'll work with photographers and they're really frustrated because they're not getting what they want, or they won't even communicate whether it's me or them or the lighting, you know? Like I'll trust you if I know if I'm just as involved in as you are. If I feel like I'm just showing up and you're just clicking photos and I'm not really part of the process, it really hinders what I feel like we can do. But again, the more you work with photographers, the more comfortable you get with them, the more you know how they work, which is important, like getting everyone's work style down. And then you're used to it. But like even first time photographer and model relationship, the first time I worked with you, like having that communication can make it look like we've shot together 10 times. You know what I mean?
There's definitely a shorthand when you've worked with someone several times.
Oh yeah.
How do you relate that trust with the risk of creativity? Do you find risk part of it?
Definitely. I mean, take our projects. Take what we're doing right now.
Well, I mean, I think about that because I push you and you have the trust in me that, the humor is good-natured and it's self-deprecating, and people get that about what we do. But how much further could we push it? And is there even greater reward the further we go with it creatively in terms of how wild can it get and how silly? But how far can I push you is something I'm thinking about. Like,
right. I definitely think that there's always reward. Cut that. Here we go. I definitely always think that there's reward that comes with risk. You see those videos online of people doing crazy shit for like what? Just for views or for whatever they think is going to get them. And so it does. Like sometimes they'll get millions and millions of views for hanging off a building with one arm. And it's obviously really risky. But kind of translating into like what we do, I think it's important to do stuff you've never done. There's just like this quote, to get something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. And so I always tried to push myself out of my comfort zone constantly, because if I'm getting comfortable, that means I'm getting comfortable. And I shouldn't be, because why would I not be pushing myself? Why would I not be continuing to go to the next thing? Whether it's crazy or it's not, it's different, and it's something that I haven't tried, And the risk is not just in the concept. The risk, like you said, like makeup artists can take risks. Hair artists can take risks. The stylist can do something they've never done, and then that's the beautiful thing, right? The model can take risks. Like I'll be in shoots with someone else. I'm like, fuck it, and I'll do a pose, or like I'll do something weird or that I wouldn't think that the photographer would like, and sometimes that's a photo they use. And so I love it when that happens, because we're all pushing for something better than what we have, and then when it all comes together, it's just beautiful.